Welcome to the Press Box, a presentation of the Dispatch and the Rock Island Argus, sponsored by Zeglin's TV and Appliance. Anthony Sandoval, Marc Nesseler. We're here for some kind of game show. I haven't figured out a name for it yet, Anthony. But we do have the rules.
Yeah.
We have four of a kind. We have four questions in front of us. We have four answers in our hands. All four are the high school teams that are still alive. Yep. Geneseo, Orion, Rockridge, and Wethersfield. Right, Annawan-Wethersfield, right. This is our Key West Parrot right here. We had to be joined by a third party, and since all the Parrot heads are in Key West, except me, we thought we'd add some atmosphere here. He can chime in whenever he wants, or he can squawk when we have the wrong answers. The key is, Anthony, we can only play a card once.
Yeah.
Once you've played it, it's gone. We'll throw it away, which makes it tough because you may like an answer. You might like Geneseo for all of them. Well, except for maybe two of them are opposite. Most likely to win, most likely to have a tough week. So it gets challenging toward the end. I usually go age before beauty, but we'll go beauty before age.
Okay.
What I want you to do, Anthony, is I want you to pick a question. We have team with the toughest task this week, most likely to win this week. The team to go the farthest in 2015, and this one, Parrot Heads, in my lines of vision there. What is that, Anthony?
If all four win, who has the toughest third round game?
All right, so if all four win, who's got the toughest next week?
Yep.
Next week. All right, so which one do we start with, Anthony?
I'm going to go with team to go the furthest in 2015, and
team
I think you know why.
Because down in our sports department, we have a chalkboard, but without the chalk. It's the newfangled board, with the markers and everything. But on it, October 3rd, 2015, it says, Anthony Sandoval, quote, Geneseo will go to state. So I already know which card you're going to play. You're going to play the Geneseo card.
Obviously, I'm going to play my Geneseo card here.
I'm going to play my Annawan-Wethersfield card. And here's why. They have a record of 7-1 against playoff qualifying teams. Out of their 10 games, they have 8 games. So they've been battle tested. They've got the home advantage this week, which I think is key to get to that third round. And if it falls right, the team that they would play, the number 3 seed is Bismarck-Henning.
Yep. And
they would host them. Mm-hmm. 3 straight weeks of being at home. Now, it's tough to keep that home. And obviously, we saw last week, playoffs, you play at home in the first week, good chance of winning.
Yeah.
I think, 85%, maybe higher. So, and as you go along the stretch. So I'm going to say, and I didn't have room for Wethersfield's too big for these. Annawan-Wethersfield's too big. I should just wrote Titans. So there's mine. Wethersfield's gone for me.
I'm going to go with Geneseo. They haven't played as many battle-tested teams for the postseason as Annawan-Wethersfield, like you said. They've played a couple good teams in DeKalb and Sterling. Wheaton Academy did some nice things last week, but they ended up rolling over them late in that game. And I just like them because they have that next man up attitude. And it seems like they can plug in any guy into any position, any role, and he can do his job to perfection. The one loss to Sterling was only because they came out slow. I thought they could have won that game even after they came out slow.
Well, and here's another key for Geneseo is the fact that they've been there.
Yeah.
I mean, they've reached that state finals many times.
Yes, many times.
Probably more than anyone else that's,
absolutely.
of the Quad City teams. So throw that out there. You got 3 left. I have 3 left.
All right.
I'm going to go with team with the toughest we'll lay him down.
Okay.
Team with the toughest task this week. And that gets music. I think that's my parrot singing a Buffett tune. Team with the toughest task this week. I'm gonna go Orion. Orion, yes. Orion's on the road.
Orion too.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
It's not even a close road. It's Lena Winslow. They're a 6 seed going against a number 1 seed. Yeah, number 1 seed. So you're playing a number 1 at home. I still am Orion obviously tried to convince me and everyone else that they were back on track last week with a huge. They were up 62 to nothing.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that.
Unbelievable. I mean, there were some couple other scores out there that were similar, but and maybe that Morrison game just sticks with me, and I don't know why.
That scares me.
And it just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. It really
I look
doesn't.
at that whole Orion season, and they played so well. I had them at number 3, I think, in my power poll at one point.
They were
behind
4 for me
Bettendorf and Geneseo.
Yeah.
And Orion was and then Powell. And I still can't figure it out. And now, of all our 4 teams, I think that's the one that's going on the road. So that makes the most sense to me.
Lena Winslow is in the Northwest Upstate Conference, and they won that with a record of 8-0. That conference sent 5 teams to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I mean,
they're battle tested.
They're battle tested. That's a good conference, and I think Orion's in for a good one this week. I think that's the game to watch.
So we agree on that one. So we're going to throw away the same one on that one. Your call. You've got most likely to win this week, or if they all 4 win, who gets the toughest test next week?
I think I'll go with all 4 win. Who has the toughest third round?
We'll have to refer to our pairings here. Who do you have left? Rockridge and Annawan-Wethersfield. I've got Geneseo and Rockridge. Obviously, Orion, they would play Ottawa Marquette or Stockton.
Yep.
And I believe they would be at Ottawa or they would host Stockton.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the way I see that. Now, Geneseo is a 4 seed. And Chicago Phillips, they're on the road no matter what.
Yeah.
They're on the road no matter what because they've hosted twice.
Yeah.
And Phillips has to go on the road this week. Now, public league team, right? Phillips,
yeah.
I assume. So, I mean, to me, that's Geneseo. To me, I think the NIB 12 tougher than that.
Yeah.
When you look at the points and everything. Rockridge is at home, and they would play Mendon Unity number 5 or Deer Creek Mackinac number 4, and they've hosted road, and so they would play at Mendon or host Deer Creek.
Yeah.
So and they've played extremely well since they had to win.
And let's not forget about, we didn't say Annawan-Wethersfield.
Annawan-Wethersfield is the other one.
Spring Valley Hall.
Spring Valley.
Number 6,
yep.
And then number 3, Bismarck Henning.
And they would definitely be on the road, right? Yeah. Because they've been host twice.
I believe so.
And Hall, yes. So they're on the road no matter what. So there you go. You've got, which one has the tougher one next week as we look ahead?
I've got Wethersfield next week because we know how good Hall is they beat Rockridge.
Right.
And they've
so even though and you know what, that makes sense with my first question because I've got them going longer.
Yeah.
So I like that answer.
I disagree with them going longer than
obviously you do.
I like Hall beat Rockridge, as I said, and then they rolled over United last week, who I thought was a great team this year.
Mm-hmm.
If they get to next week, they're going to play Hall, and then Bismarck Henning is not any easier. That's actually a tougher matchup. They've won like 8 in a row.
Yeah,
and either way, it's tough for Annawan-Wethersfield.
I'm going to play next week. I'm going to play my Geneseo card.
Okay.
Because even though they go on the road, like I said, the Phillips doesn't scare me as much as Mantino.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
You see, and we talked about that Mantino in their passing game is going to be a stiff challenge to the Maple Leafs.
Yep.
Probably more so than what they might see next week.
Yeah, and the thing is about Geneseo is they got Mantino this week, and then Phillips next week maybe if they get that far, and then
it wouldn't even surprise me if Johnsburg wins. Because Johnsburg's got they've been there before as well.
That's a tough bracket too because Rockford Lutheran in it, Marengo in it.
You talk about a tough bracket. Look at the other side of that Geneseo bracket.
Yeah,
Rochester, Quincy, Notre Dame, and Belleville-Althoff play each other.
Yeah,
and then you got Taylorville at 10-0.
Oh yeah,
I think it's setting up well for a great title game.
Yeah.
Should Geneseo get there. So the last one, throw that question out. We got most likely team to win this week. Now here's the key. You have one, I have one. It may or may not be the one we want to have left.
Yeah.
But we have to convince each other that we have the same one. So what is your argument that they're most likely team to win this week?
Rockridge. defense wasn't ready to play last week at the beginning of the game against Rocheville, the game I covered to start off my postseason run. They did not come ready to play on defense in the first play from scrimmage. Bang, 60 yards to the house. After that, they sort of settled in. They had a muff punt that gave up the other touchdown to those guys. And then after that, the second half, they played flawless football, I thought. And that could be scary for whomever they play this week.
This week it's
Tri-Valley, 10-0 team.
Tri-Valley, down Tri-Valley.
That's a tough opponent, but Rockridge last week looked like a 10-0 opponent.
I see Rockridge as being on a mission.
Yeah.
Since in their last 4 games. Their last 4, and this will be number 5.
Yeah, definitely.
But and I've seen these Rockridge teams in the past as they get to the postseason, and they've got that look in their eye. And here's the other reason I like Rockridge. You covered them last week, and I was kind of keeping an eye on what you were holding out in your hand, and I noticed you were holding on to Rockridge, and I knew you covered them last week, and so I said, okay, that must be the most likely team to win. So there you go. See, I was when you're having cards in your hands there, Anthony, you gotta know when to hold them.
Yeah.
Who sang that song? Do you know?
No.
I love it. I love it. We'll I know Mize knows. Mize, you want to chime in? Kenny Rogers. There
that's my mom's favorite, so I should.
See, there you go.
Know.
See, your mom. Don't tell your mom that you didn't know.
Well, she'll probably watch this and know.
There you go. So. And she'll say, "I know that one. I know that one." All right, so there you go. We have good luck to Geneseo. Good luck to Orion. Good luck to Rockridge. Good luck to the Titans of Annawan-Wethersfield. We'll see how we play out in our card game.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you, Zeglin's TV and Appliance, for being our sponsor. And next week will be week number 12. How many teams will be left? Isn't that right? 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep. Week number 12. How many will be left? We'll see you then.
Yep.